Hello everybody and welcome once again to Aina, the mirror to the world. We are continuing our journey through Middle Asia and we've arrived in one of the most beautiful countries in the world. This week, Aina is in Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan is one of the Middle Asian republics holding a highly promising and bright future. Silk Road was a major caravan route for hundreds of centuries. It's a bridge between the East and the West. Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, and Turkmenistan are its neighbors. In addition to its geopolitical importance, Uzbekistan is now the world's fourth largest producer and the second largest exporter of cotton, and the seventh major producer of gold. It is also a regionally significant producer of natural gas, coal, copper, oil, silver, and uranium. Uzbeks are a civilized people. After the Soviet Union was overthrown, Uzbekistan gained independence in 1991, by means of which they opened up to the world. That even the poorest hosts will be ready to offer you whatever they have with no hesitation, because they consider serving the guest as quite an honor for themselves. Respect for guests is so essential to their culture that they say guests are as important to us as our ancestors. All of them are quite humble, amiable, and with a smiling face all the time. The official language is Uzbek. We've now arrived in the region of Kharazm, from Tashkent, the capital of the country. We're now in the city called Urganch. We'll leave here for the historical city of Khiva. We're going to drive there, so why don't we get going and see what we find? It took us more than an hour to get to Urganch from Tashkent. We are now heading towards Khiva, and we'll be there in about 20 minutes. The green scenery of the town center disappears quickly outside the city. We are now in the historical city of Khiva. That is the main gate to the city. Now this city is over 2,500 years old. Silk Road caravans would use Khiva as a stopover in their long journeys between Europe and Asia. The old city is surrounded by walls. The language used by the people living in Kharazm and Khiva is very close to Turkish. If you know Turkish, then it's easy for you to communicate with these people. The Khan of Khiva used to rule over this land. Up to 1920, the last Khan of Khiva would welcome his guests right there. You can see its historical domes and minarets right over there as well. That minaret is said to be about 1,000 years old. Now, while walking through these streets, you feel like you can go right back to the past. Khiva, which is known as an important and famous city for the Silk Road caravans, is also a city of oases. The number of tourists visiting the country is gradually increasing as there are lots of places to see in Uzbekistan. Khiva was included in the list of World Heritage Sites in 1990. Today, Khiva boasts a population of about 3,500. It has hotels, museums, restaurants, and souvenir shops. The city of Khiva was first recorded by Muslim travelers in the 10th century, although archaeologists are certain it has existed since the 6th century. Uzbekistan is mostly visited by tourists coming from Europe, China, Korea, and Japan. The number of tourists visiting the city is 20,000 every year. In our tour of the old city, we feel as if we're traveling back in history. We enjoy being in this beautiful city which was once a major route to the Silk Road caravans. The folklore groups serve the guests a delicious green tea and perform a nice show of singing and dancing. While walking in Hiva, we came across these national hats. We've just met Jalaluddin, and there are different types of hats here. And there are also garments made of fox skin. Now, you said there was a hat made of fox skin, right? Now, which one was it? Right over here? Right over here? All right, this one? And let's see how it'll look on me. I'll put it right on here. Cool, huh? How much is this one? Well, $35. Wow. And this one is the traditional hat of Harizm. Let's try it on as well. This is the traditional hat worn by the people of Harizm. And there are some other interesting hats. That's another cool hat. And how much is this one? Really? It looks nice. Let's try this on now. I feel strange in this hat. Do I look funny? How much is this one then? It's $15. It's not so expensive. He's laughing at me. We can buy it for $15, but in fact, we don't have any intention of buying it. So let's leave it here and say goodbye. So we've set off early in the morning this morning. It's about 5 o'clock right now. We're heading towards Bukhara, from a city of Silk Road to another one. We'll cover about 450 kilometers, and the journey will last about 6 hours. It seems we're on the road in this country day and night. It's becoming dark quite slowly. The river we're crossing over is the famous Amu Darya. Lands except those around here are desert-like. Well, we've arrived in Bukhara after a long journey. As the Uzbeks call it, the Blessed Bukhara. Now, behind us are the Kalan Minaret, its mosque, and an Arab madrasa, or school. Bukhara is a living history indeed. There's an Uzbek proverb which goes, there are only two roads in the universe. One is the Milky Way, and the other is the Silk Road. Many famous scholars coincidentally studied in this city. This is the Kalan Minaret in Bukhara. Kalan means big in Uzbek. This minaret was made in 1127. Now it's 47 meters high and has 105 stairs to the top. It's the most beautiful spot where you can view the city. The bright day outside leaves itself to a dark atmosphere inside. Our eyes are slowly getting used to the dim light in here. We've almost climbed to the top of the stairs, and we're now on the minaret balcony. It's true, Bukhara is beautiful from up here.